Hello, friends and pop culture loves. Welcome back to the channel. So, the ladies are discussing the Supreme Court's unanimous decision to keep Trump on the ballot. And, this was, of course, Colorado took it to the Supreme Court because they did not want to put him on the state ballot because he allegedly, or, Colorado framed it in a way that he is the one who drove the insurrection. And that is unconstitutional. So it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And even though it was a unanimous decision, there were dissents written by Justice Jackson, Justice Sotomayor, Justice Keegan, and then actually Amy Coney Barrett, who was appointed by Trump, stepped in and said that they believe that the Supreme Court essentially, were overstepped their boundaries and were biased. And the reason why is because, they were only supposed to answer the question that they were presented, right? And regarding Colorado not wanting to put Trump on the ballot because of the insurrection. However, because Trump appointed so many conservative, Supreme Court justices, that they were writing things in addition to the original question. So Sunny, she's very liberal, but she said that she agreed as well, because if they had kept Trump off of the ballot in Colorado, then that would have set a legal precedent to where all, 50 states could have, taken up this, and some people would have, wanted Trump on the ballot, some not. Like I think Maine, the state of Maine actually said that they did not want Trump on the ballot as well before this Supreme Court decision. So, of course, the ladies, all chimed in and gave their opinion in regards to the unanimous decision by the Supreme Court justices. But essentially, it's going to come up to the voters, right? It's going to come down to the American people, whether or not they're going to it's been a long day. Re-elect Donald Trump. I was trying to say elect and Trump at the same time. Re-elect Donald Trump, or, keep the president that we have right now, Joe Biden. So a lot of people continuously talk about, Joe Biden and his age and his agility. However, Trump is the second oldest president in our nation's history, right? These are the two oldest presidents that we've had in our nation's history. But they had a guest on, right? Rita Moreno, and she is 91. She looks great, by the way. They showed a clip of her dancing on the table with leather pants. And I'll link it in the description box so you guys can watch it from their YouTube channel, because I tried to do it myself. And I don't want the channel to get dinged or a strike or anything like that for copyright. So if you guys want to check it out, please feel free to go in the description box. But I just thought that she looked amazing. And then, Anna Navarro asked her what she thought. And she was just basically like, you're only as old as you feel, essentially, right? I mean, she's 91. She looks amazing. She said that she is not going to, or she's 92, I'm sorry. Joe Biden is 81. But she says, listen, he's done a great job in office. And she's like, I am not going to vote for a man who has 91 indictments. And the audience, they burst out into applause. I have to say, I agree. I absolutely agree. People, I have people on this channel who are both conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat. I'm an independent. That's the great thing about this country. You know what I mean? You can vote how you feel and vote your conscience. But I cannot vote for someone who essentially, Colorado put him up, took it all the way to the Supreme Court because he essentially did lead an insurrection, calling for good people on both sides when it comes to the Proud Boys. He told them to stand back and stand by. Oh, that was Charlottesville, but he told the Proud Boys to, yes, stand back and stand by. He just causes so much division and hatred. And not only does he have all these pending lawsuits and indictments, but Trump is just not a good person, like that, like just to his core. He stole from his own charitable foundation and was found guilty of that. So Joe Biden is not my favorite either. Just to give you guys a balanced scale, I feel like a lot of things that he said in the past were extremely offensive, and a lot of people are not favorable of how he is handling the issue in the war in Gaza. Vice President Harris just recently, yesterday, called for a ceasefire for 6 weeks. And I'm like a lot of people, I'm wondering why it's only 6 weeks instead of permanently a permanent ceasefire. But yeah, essentially, I do think that I agree with Sunny and I agree with the Supreme Court justices that the states, even though they do have a lot of rights, this is a country where states have an enormous amount of power and autonomy, right? Trevor Noah, he's one of my favorite comedians. He said that he feels like the USA is just 50 different countries all under one umbrella because all states' rights are pretty much different. However, in this instance, I will say that I'm glad that, Sunny, she did say that she is a constitutionalist at her core, and she believes, like the rest of the justices, that were they to grant Colorado this amount of power to remove Trump, it would cause so much chaos in our country, and we just don't need that. I mean, we're just now recovering from, the craziness with COVID and just, inflation and all these different issues. We do not need Colorado essentially leaving, the Republican front runner off of the ballot. People are going to have to step up and really make their voices heard at the voter ballots, the ballot box, because that's where that's where our power lies. Essentially, we're still a democracy, even though some people are questioning that. But we're still a republic, and our Constitution starts out "We the people," right? And so I encourage all my, followers here to vote. I know it's a small channel, but it's growing. So I thank everyone for subscribing and hanging out here with me today. But yeah, I enjoyed today's topic in the View because even though the justices, a lot of them, 3 of them, were appointed by Donald Trump while he was in office. I'm glad that Amy spoke up and said, "Listen." Essentially, SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, they overstepped. You don't have to be biased toward the man who put you in office. I understand the whole quid pro quo and you want to do a favor for somebody who did you a favor, but that's not, it's not ethical, right? It's not moral. It's not professional if you are a Supreme Court justice, because the Supreme Court is the highest office or the highest legal system court in our nation, and so they need to have a high standard of integrity, and they don't. With Clarence Thomas and Ginny Thomas, I don't know why I do know. I was going to say that's the reason why he's not under investigation. I feel like Judge Roberts, since he is, the head Supreme Court justice, he really needs to talk with Clarence. I feel like he should recuse himself. He should have from this case because of Ginny Thomas. A lot of people thought that, but he chose not to. But there needs to be some kind of accountability when it comes to the Thomases. Ginny on her part for taking part in trying to essentially overturn our democracy, being a part of the insurrection, and then Clarence taking all these gifts and being bribed. As a Supreme Court justice, that's unacceptable. Taking all these fancy trips and getting all these extravagant gifts and stuff like that. Judges in lower courts, they're not allowed to do that. Even appellate courts, they're not allowed to do that. And Sunny has talked about that several times on the show. When she was a prosecutor, she said they couldn't accept anything, like not even a lunch over $25, or it might be considered a bribe, or they had to report it, I think, to HR. But anyway, moving on to Rita Moreno. Like I said, she looks great. She said She said that she's, learned enough. 'Cause they asked her, what did she learn in those 92 years of living? She's like, I've learned enough. Now I just want to spread joy. I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh. And that's such a great answer, right? Because life is short, and in your 90s, should we be all blessed to get there, you want to just kind of have fun. So she said that she actually channeled the people that were mean to her and her critics to play the antagonist in her next role in The Prank. And I thought that that was so good, like such a genius. So, everyone loved her in West Side Story. And that the fact that she's still working in her 90s is amazing. Like, wow. But again, she looks great. She complimented Anna on her shoes. And, Anna's like, well, I'll get you a pair. She said it in Spanish. And she's like, girl, I'm 92. She's like, the heel's up to here. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I really enjoyed this episode. I hope that you guys did too. Thank you so much for rocking with me here. Please be sure to like the video, share with your loved ones and family, friends, all that good stuff, so the channel can continue to grow. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.